Now we are live.
Live, ready to go.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Not bad. You?
I am not bad. I better get this out of my system before we start. Shit, fuck. So no, I'm all good. How's your
I
week
think you'll
been?
be all right. Week's been fine. I've been off work all this week, so just been doing coursework and all the rest of it for B2B training, usual shit. Just a
Yeah.
just another week. What about yourself?
It's been interesting. This has been my first week back with Cam.
Of
And
course.
you know how that went. Seems that I broke down on fucking Monday, and you see me on Tuesday. I was fucked. I feel better now. I've been able to get like 8 hours sleep at night from Wednesday onwards.
Yes.
So food's staying in now, which is good. Food's still a struggle, but it's staying in, which is because did I tell you what happened on Monday?
Well, you shot yourself.
I didn't. No, I wouldn't say
Not
I
quite.
shot myself, but I weighed in at 194 in the morning for my check-in with Cam, and when I went to bed, I was 193. So with all that 5,600 calories going in and all the shitting, I'd shy out a pound. So my arsehole's like Japanese flag the next day. It was horrible. It was grim. I had to borrow some of the
But the
baby
thing is,
wipes.
you know yourself.
Huh?
What's that?
I had to borrow some of Brody's baby wipes. Like it was that bad. It was nippy as fuck.
He's ordering these t-shirts. But you know yourself. If you're stressed and you're trying to force food, it's never going to end well.
No, it's just
You
grim.
know?
It's just
Yeah.
grim. But no, apart from that, it's been good. It was good to be out Impact. Good being for what I did for legs, and then you and Ellis and that the other day. It was really good. It was just good to go in, batter
It's just a
chest.
different environment.
Huh?
It's a different environment, for the likes of you, for Ellis.
I
It
think
gets you away from the norm.
I've never had a bad session at Impact. Like, I think what Stevie has done for that place in the space that you've got, it's awesome. Like,
Yes, no, definitely,
it's
100%.
not a dungeon gym. He keeps it happy for everybody. He takes people's needs into account, and the
Yeah,
equipment there is really good. So it's just you can't complain.
I'm really happy with it. I think he's done a brilliant job. And then, obviously, we've been down to controls. It's really good as well. And Carnoustie opening tomorrow,
Tomorrow,
which looks fucking ace. He's done a really good job with it.
I really want to go down there, especially for the life fitness stuff they've got, because see, I think Carnoustie is going to be like the flagship. Like I know Montrose was like the flagship, but I think Carnoustie, from what he's put into it, it looks like
It does look impressive. It does look impressive. Well, we can go down. Should go down next week or something.
We've got into next week. We should be all right.
But,
Yeah, fuck it, let's do that. What do you want to do? Legs or upper or have they got dumbbells for you? Because you don't do anything but dumbbells.
I don't mind. Just let me know what day you want to go and we'll plan around it.
Okay, you're like the only cunt that's happy through lockdown because the only thing you had access to
Yeah.
was dumbbells.
What's that?
You're like the only cunt who's happy through lockdown because all you had access to is dumbbells.
I know. When I bought that, well, we bought that Smith machine for 200 quid. Fucking steal. Yeah, no, we should do legs. Do legs because we've got that new primal squat machine.
Aye, the thing is almost like the Rogers pendulum.
Yeah. And I want to see what that feels like on my back. So,
That sounds like a plan. Right, we shall do that then.
yeah, we can do legs next week. Cool. Sorted.
Sweet. Right, so we got some questions. Well, you got more than what I did because like I've also got like 3 followers and you've got like Insta famous at 600.
Still fuck all this.
It's annoying, right? So TikTok's fucked. The
Right.
education content that I put up every single day, it gets like literally 200 views. And I put up 3 videos yesterday, one of me doing a burpee, one of me sniffing a line of pre-workout, and the other one of me going like this around a rim. A glass rim, not like a natural rim. They both got all 3 of them got 1,500 views. All 3 of them within the space of a day. So it's fucked. So first one.
Well, I've got my own opinion on fucking reels and views and all that kind of shit anyway, but
it'll happen to you. You're an influencer now, mate. Like it'll happen to you.
I'm sure.
Arthritis Anadrol. How did that name come about? You want to take the lead on this one?
Well, I don't know. We're both cripples. We're both like Anadol.
Well, that's a secret out now, then, is it?
Yeah.
Um,
No. I think I don't know. It just kind of I don't know. It came up in conversation with it, and it was just it sounded good, and it kind of stuck. So
was it not because of the group chat? Like, it started off with a huge group chat with us and also our partners. Like, it was Fazwat and Pumped.
yeah,
And that got into, like, that used to get shouted about the whole time. And then it was then because of you and Justine were having the Disney conspiracy theories back and forth. It got
yes,
changed to that. And then I think it's because like the name had to suit everybody. So either somebody in the group has had Anadrol or somebody in the group somebody in the group has had arthritis or somebody in the group's done Anadrol. It just made
yeah,
sense. So
yeah. Just thought
yeah,
it was good.
they seem to roll off the tongue. And if you have a podcast with Fazwat and Pumped, then it's going to have a different type of viewer, I feel.
You need to get a spicy link for that one.
But spicy link will be dropped down below. Shit, you know what? We never did the introduction.
Correct.
Yes. So welcome to the AA meeting. I'll let Neil go first.
Yeah, well, if you don't know already, I don't know, I'm Neil, B2B, or back.to.basics_Neil on Instagram. Yeah, I don't know, I've been training for what, 10, 12 years, something like that.
Since the
Longer.
dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Pretty much, since dumbbells were invented. And then, recently I've obviously launched B2B coaching. And that's just in the early stages. That's pretty much me, really, I think. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, but you're doing pretty well.
Hence the name, basic.
You're picking up some traction anyway, though.
Yeah, we have had quite a few sign-ups and a few good inquiries and people reaching out and stuff, which is good, as long as it's. I think we have to remember that it is a business at the end of the day, and although people ask for advice, as much as we want to help people, we can't be doing it for free.
Yeah.
It is a business at the end of the day, so don't take it personally if we come across a bit abrupt sometimes. You've got to be paying for time.
I think there's no value to it, if that makes sense, if it's free. So
yeah,
the prime example, like JP, right? I signed up for his forum, and anything he's doing now on YouTube has been on the forum for fucking years. Yes, and I guarantee you'll get a kid now who'll go, "Oh, JP, he's the GOAT, he's the ultimate thing," and they'll think full body workout, right? But because they're not paying for it, they'll then stick to me for a day, 3 days, and like, that's just pish. But if somebody's to pay for a plan, there's value to it.
Yeah, they're investing in it. Yeah, exactly. They're investing in themselves.
Me folk in the past have helped beforehand they're dying the programs and stuff, and you think, their mate, they'll stick to it just because they're a mate. And it gets like literally 3 days in, and they're like, I'm fucking bored. I'm bored of this, or this has happened. And it's like, right, okay. But yeah, if you paid for it, you would have fucking stuck to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I'm Niall, nightmare_before_fitness.pt on Instagram. It's a fucking mouthful. I've been PT and online coaching for 2 years. Started off at no, I'm not going to go into all that stuff because that's a long fucking history. But basically, lockdown got me into it. I've been wanting to do this ever since I was a kid, but I was always told by my parents there's no money in it, and I am glad to prove them wrong. But the plan is, in the future, we're looking. Well, actually, next year we're going to start our own supplement store online. Might as well fucking announce this now. Neil is going to be a sponsored athlete. Bald Eagle 10 will be his code when it gets launched. So basically, it's just because any of my clients will get a discount, any of his clients will get a discount. We've been best mates for however fucking long, and we see each other 3 times a week. It just makes sense for him to be on the team to help him out with his clients too. Yeah, that's about it. I just love helping people. When people actually like get the results that they want and they actually stick to it, it just gives you more of a. It makes it worthwhile you being away from your family the whole time when people actually stick to it and they put in the effort.
Yeah, no, totally.
So,
it is work.
Right, here's a question, and I feel it's a very fitting topic because of where you train, where I train. The younger generation now, do you feel they get a lot of stick for being in the gym?
Some of them get a lot of fucking stick from me. No, do you know what? It's a double-edged sword. It's seeing the younger generation come up, and you know yourself, an Impact. There's a large demographic of younger members there.
Yep.
I think it's a good thing. Like, it is definitely a good thing seeing youngsters coming up and they're wanting to train. The one thing I would say about the youngsters, or what I've seen of the youngsters in Impact, is you're not battling with tripods and all that kind of pish. They seem to be getting into training. Now, some of it's maybe not perfect, or, what's the word I'm looking for, maybe not optimal, but at least they're trying, which is what I'll give them credit for. But I just think they need some guidance. I think there's a lot of shit on TikTok and Instagram and all the rest from where they think it's going to happen overnight, or they're trying to reinvent the wheel and all the rest of it. And I think that's where the stick comes from. Everyone wants to be Insta famous now instead of actually training for the love of training, if that makes sense. Like, the sort of ethos and history behind it has got lost, I think. So I think that's where they get the stick. The stick comes from likes of our generation, where we've kind of come up through the ranks and we've trained hard and we've learned how to train. We've made mistakes. We've trained like fucking idiots before as well, of course. But it's trial and error. Whereas now, the generation seems to be led by influencers instead of looking at old greats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a shame, because there's some, really good youngsters out there that have potential and can train, and you see they are trying. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems to be a different era just now, and I don't know if it's for the better, to be honest. So it's a bit of a shame. I don't want to try them all with the same brush.
Yeah, I think the issue. Is there feedback going on there? No. I think the issue going on with it is very rarely do the younger generation go to the gym by themselves. Now, I've seen this.
Yes.
I've seen this at Pure Gym. I see this quite a lot at the gym I'm at. And basically, you'll go in groups of, say, and it's not even groups of 2. It's like groups of fucking 4, 5, fucking 6. And they're all huddled around the same machine or the same bit of equipment, and they're all basically ego lifting the fuck out of each other, going, "Oh, you can do this, you can do this." Yeah. Doing a trap bar deadlift, and it's looking like a hissing cat, and they're like, "Oh, mate, you fucking got that."
Yeah.
And I think it's that whole kind of peer pressure. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's good to go with a mate and try and outlift each other, but if the form's fucking great, then it's good. Like I said this to you the other day, like, I went into the gym, I was training a client, and there was a boy on the hack squat, a way to do it, and then there's a kid on each side on the horns standing on them. Like, what does that prove? Right, okay, well done. So you can do, like, what, 40 kilos a side? Sound like makes no point. I do believe there's a lot of potential, a lot of folk. Like the gym I'm at right now, there's a guy and he's like fucking 6'3" and he's 18 and he plays basketball, and the definition he's got on him right now is fucking insane, and he could deadlift 180.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even touching that until I was like 22, 23. I think it's great the fact, like, people are getting into a lot younger now than what I did. Like, I go into the gym like when I was like 17. Folk are starting to come in younger. As we've seen that Impact, as we've seen that Evo, they're coming in younger, and it's great that they've got that.
That's a good thing. I do think that's a good thing. I definitely, it's definitely, you want to see youngsters training. And now, a bit like you, I was later, but I was even later than you. I think I was in my 20s before I started training. So really late on. But that's a good thing about Impact, I think, is, well, I grew up in Stonehaven, so that's my hometown. And there was fuck all there. Like, when I was going, there was fuck all there. There was things there, but there wasn't like gyms or anything like that.
There's boats.
Pretty much. So our options on a weekend or whatever was drinking, fighting, smoking, hooring, and that was kind of it.
Nothing changed.
And then, you know, now that obviously Stevie's opened up Impact, the youngsters have got somewhere to go. So I kind of look back at that and think, fuck, I wish I had that. I wish this was here when I was younger. Seeing the guys utilize it, the youngsters utilizing it's really good. And I don't think Impact's bothered as much as what you're saying about big groups, but I know exactly what you're talking about. There is one or two, but quite often you'll see maybe they do go in by themselves, or they'll go in ones and twos. They're almost there. Do you know what I mean? Like in Impact, they're almost at that point where they're not quite in that influencer fucking circle thing yet.
Yeah.
But they're not quite training properly either. Do you know what I mean? They're sort of in between. There's obviously a couple that are training quite well. Like the young lad I seen the other night, he was doing dumbbell skull crushers and shit like that, which I was
obsessed with them.
really do you know what? It's a basic exercise, but it works. Do you know what I mean? And whereas a lot of the youngsters you see now, they'll find some other fucking fancy shit on TikTok and try that, and it's not going to have the same result long term.
Yeah, I don't think. Right,
Yeah.
let's just get this out in the open. You and me have got it's no secret, right? That you and me have got very, very different training styles, right? I think train to failure is the only thing we agree on. Everything else is kind of what's for you and what's for me. There's different, also, injuries and supporting certain things and stuff, but I think that's it. Like I'll agree with you. Like the old school stuff does work and it works great, but I personally feel if you're in a machine, you can only move the way the machine allows you to move. That'll be either a good thing or a bad thing. If you're on a dumbbell, you are in position of that dumbbell. That dumbbell can go front, back, left to right, fucking diagonal, whatever. If you're dealing with a weak body part and there's an injury there, sometimes a machine is going to be a lot more beneficial than what a dumbbell is. But when it gets to that heavier weight, a dumbbell will only want to go down. It will not want to go fucking forward or back. It'll just want to go down at a certain weight. So I think that's where I would then tie into like dumbbell work. Like, see, incline presses. My coach got me on like high incline dumbbell presses. I love them. I think they're great.
Yeah.
Right. And the best thing about it is the gym I train at hasn't got an incline press unless you go in the Smith. So I have to do them.
Yeah. Right? Fair. Yeah.
But when I was training with Dylan,
it's fucking shite as well. Was that?
Pardon? What was that?
So the Smith machine when you train is fucking shite as well.
Cortisol. Right. Smith machines, best I've ever used is Danny's one. That thing is fucking nice.
Yeah.
Bars nice
good. That's a good.
The thing that put me off is the Pinata one. Do you not find the Pinata one, the bar is really thin?
I do. See, I don't mind that so much though. Like I don't mind that, but what the Pinata one, I didn't never dislike the Pinata one. What I dislike about Smith machines, right?
It's not a dumbbell, it's not a barbell.
No. I think a Smith machine's a great tool. I love a Smith machine, right? But folk will put on the counterbalances and then count the bar as weight, and it gets in the ego, and that's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I think the Smith machine falls down. Is it's a tool for egos, or it can be a tool for egos, because you can lift more because you put the counterbalance on, and the bar now weighs nothing, and you know what I mean, you're self counting and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Danny's one is obviously there's no counterbalance on it, and it's heavy. I think like the bar is 30 kilo or something, and so you're already above what you'd be on a normal bar, so it's but no, I do like a Smith machine. And back to your point about obviously using machines and all the rest of it, and how your training style is different from mine. The difference is you've done the basics. You know how to do the basics. You're not a youngster just coming into the gym and then reinventing the wheel. You've done everything else beforehand, and then you're moving in, and because your training is more advanced. That's the kind of difference where when it comes in, you know how to barbell press, you know how to dumbbell press, you know how to dumbbell fly, and all the rest of it. My point to the youngsters is they're skipping all that basic part and then moving in, in that direction. It's just not going to help you. So I think that's my sort of crux with it is you need to know the basics first before you can advance into different things. That's what I kind of get at anyway. Then you can play about and tweak things and use machines and to get to that next level once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And don't skip out that initial phase. That's my point on it, my take on it.
Sweet. Right.
Yeah.
So I think
But yes, youngsters.
I think we've exhausted the whole thing about youngsters then. We're happy with that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the final word on it is they need to be there. We need to. No, we need them. We need them to be there. We should encourage them to be there, but we should be sending out the message that you need to do it properly. Learn the basics first, and then move up the skills.
There's something I want to talk to you and I want to talk to Stevie about. And I want to do it both also at the same time, but fuck, I might as well just put it here anyway. I think it'd be really good to get a joint seminar. You, me, Stevie allows it at Impact, and basically have it so as you're basically paying, say, X amount for 2 or 3 hours, and you're literally taking the younger folk through the compound movements or how to execute a movement a little bit better. Like literally, we'll be the judge and the jury. They are the fucking executioner. They have to execute in a certain way to make sure they're getting the most out of that. And I think that'd be beneficial. And it gives up like literally
very cool.
2 hours a weekend, gets like them in like, oh, fucking buzzing, I've got this on the go, blah, blah, blah. And then, I think that'd be a really good thing to get into.
That'd be good. That'd be cool.
Perfect. Right. So you'll take all the kids that want to do dumbbells. So you'll take the 2, and I'll take all the kids with machines, and I'll take the 20. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'll take the 2. That's more. That's fine.
Fucking sound. Right. Right. I'm going to mix these up and about, so we're not talking about the same thing over and over. Favorite gym to train in?
Well, it's got to be Unit 12 or Impact. They're both totally different, but both totally different. But that's the 2 that I would go for.
I would go Unit 12, aka Anadrol Alley. So shout out to Danny and Jim. I would do that, but if it's gyms that people can actually access, because obviously Anadrol Alley is invite only. So that sounds fucking prestigious as fuck, does it? It's invite. Yeah. Personally, I love Extreme Gym. Like, I know it gets a lot of hate, but I love Extreme Gym in Glasgow.
Never been.
Right, we'll do that not next weekend because we're going to Carnoustie. We'll do that the weekend after. We'll go to Glasgow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Also on Future Fitness. Future Fitness is great, actually.
See, I was going to say Future, but I think I prefer Extreme. The only reason for it is Future, as much as I love the place, and I love the fact it's got Cybex. Like that Cybex incline press is mental.
Amazing.
Like it's so fucking smooth. And the fact they've got Prime Kit now is awesome. The only thing is, I like the whole thing about Extreme Gym is just basically it's one room and it's a little bit kind of grimier or darker. Darker is the word, right? Like don't get me wrong, other equipment's like advanced strength and it's like either copies of like Life Fitness or whatever, and it's still copies, but it's still good. Like I've never had a bad session there. But then to be fair, I've never had a bad session at Future Fitness the times we've been there. Yeah. I felt so fucking sorry for Dave though when we took him.
Fuck, I know. I wasn't expecting that.
That was literally, I seen the stairs. I was like, I fucked up.
Shite. Yeah, typical Dave. He just fucking soldiers on him.
I know.
Complain. That was his cardio for the year.
Yeah, but it's like he's like climbing Kilimanjaro. Like it was.
I know. You know that you want to walk behind him in front of him.
So for anybody who doesn't know, we've got a friend Dave. He'll actually be on at some point in the future. We took him to Future Fitness, and Future Fitness is like going up the stairs of the Accord Centre. Is that the really shitty ones after leg day? Coming off the side from the strippers.
I don't know where the strippers are.
Right.
No, you think that on the outside stairs?
Aye, the really bad ones that then lead you into Union Square.
Oh, pass.
Is it Bon Accord?
No, fuck knows.
Right, anyway. but it's really fucking high stairs and a fucking shit ton of them. And Dave is on sticks. So it was literally a case of it took us 10 minutes to get up the stairs. Sorry, well, it took him 10 minutes. We were up at the top having a coffee waiting for him. But I would go with that. Like, I love Impact now, but I definitely say my favorite place to train is either Anadrol Alley or Extreme. Like, I just love it.
That said, if we're going further afield,
you went down to England, didn't you? You was a muscle unit you went to, yeah.
Muscle unit and the Prophecy Centre.
And knows how you didn't bring in dedicated. No, was it dedicated fitness? No, what's the place?
Fucking shit. Honestly, just shit. Just absolute shit.
Was it the big? That's the place that's got the biggest amount of Watson equipment in the world, and the best exercise you did is what, a dumbbell row?
It was a barbell row. It was the best exercise we did. Yeah, do you know what, the dumbbell section is fucking amazing, but it's a gym for Instagram.
Yeah, because they do dumbbells from 1 to 100, don't they?
1 to 130, I think it is.
And it's all in 1 kilo increments.
1 kilo or half kilos. I can't remember. But it's something. It stretches the whole length of the building from one end to the other. And it does look good. If they get their pictures right for Instagram, it looks fucking quality. But the actual gym itself, the equipment and stuff is just pish. There's a shit atmosphere as well, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But then, obviously, it's in Liverpool, 10 minutes away. You've got Prophecy, obviously Nathan's place. And it's night and day. It's just fucking quality. So fucking good. You know, you walk in and you're told straight away, you get 3 strikes, so green, amber, red, about kind of putting your weights away, putting your plates away, behaviour and all the rest. 3 strike, and you're like, you know, it's as simple as that. They don't mind what you do as long as you tighten it after yourself and respect it. And look after the kit. And the kit in there's not one brand, so they've got, he did have Panata, I think he's selling most of that now.
I've seen that on Facebook. Follow him so you can see what stuff he's selling.
Yeah.
He's got Jim Echo.
Yeah, you got Echo.
What was that?
Oh, Jim Lecco. Yeah, he's got Jim Lecco and he's got Arsenal, Wilson Panata. There's other stuff in there as well. I don't know, but everything's thought out instead of just kind of like batch buying everything and you know, that way. So he's picked the best of everything. And he's always changing it as well. So if something else comes out that's better, he'll sell one bit and buy another and, you know, constantly investing in it.
That's where people go wrong with gyms. Like, when somebody's starting up a gym, and people might not realize this, the more you order from a company, the more of a discount you're going to get. So,
of course,
so it's so easy for somebody to go, right, fuck it, I'm going to go, we'll just go Cybex, right? Right, there's no brand of fitness equipment which hits every single machine bang on the money. A name does not simply carry it. Just because it says Cybex does not mean it's going to be fucking immaculate, right? I've used some Cybex stuff that's been dog shit. But the more you order from the company, the more of a discount you'll get. So effectively, you're getting, like, say, 2, 3, or 4 bits of kit for free with the amount of orders you're putting in. What I like about other gyms is, especially Impact or for, like, you know, Prophecy, whatever, it's literally thought out. It's the best of a certain brand because that's what you're wanting. You're not wanting somebody in and go, oh, we've got Panata stuff, we've got Watson stuff, we've got Cybex or whatever. It's like, aye, fair enough, you've got Cybex stuff, but the stuff's shit and you're not connecting with it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's, if you take, I don't know, super dedicated because it is Watson, there's a couple of bits that I think are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
A couple of bits. Like, literally 2. And the rest is dog shit. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is. It's just shite. And we went down to super dedicated and we tried out a fair bit, like a lot of different kit and stuff. So it wasn't like we were just training one body part. We, you know, went around and tried like pretty much everything. And the feeling, like I say, apart from the chest press and probably the leg press, that's the only 2 things I think are really any good. Everything else I've tried was just fucking diabolical.
So that's what I kind of found. Like, it's the things with machines, you're basically built for one type of person. You're an inch too short or an inch too fucking tall, and throws biomechanics way off. I agree with you. The Watson chest press is an awesome bit of kit. I really like it. The animal leg press, I like it. I just feel the handle should be in a different place to hold yourself in. Rather than holding yourself down here, I feel it should be held a little bit more in front. And you know how I feel with the Viking press. I think the Viking press is so nice, but how hard
Can't
is it?
fuck up a Viking press.
Exactly. Like it's really hard to fuck up a Viking press.
Yeah.
So no, that's actually pretty. Like I say, my main thing is you can't hide behind a name. That's the main thing.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, some kits, some shite. It's just how it's going to be. What you can't fuck up though is a barbell and dumbbells.
Right. How many people do you see tearing pecs or anything like that on a machine compared to barbells?
I can't say I've seen someone apart from on Instagram tear anything. I've never witnessed a tear in my life.
Okay. But
Or either
have they been on barbells?
aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's just leave it at that then. Right. Favorite. Fuck it. Favorite cheat meal.
Favorite cheat meal? Fuck, I don't know.
Because I want to delve into this with you because when you're prepping, the only thing that you wanted during your prep was what after your show?
An apple.
An apple. Something you can basically get any fucking day, and you want something as simple as an apple. And you're a foodie. You like your food.
Oh, I think I love my food. Yeah, and then obviously Drew put an apple into my plan about 3 weeks before the show, and that fucking scuppered that like that one beacon of hope at the end of it was taken away from us. Yeah, no, cheat meals. I don't know. Like when I was dieting, I think the Saturday before my peak week, Saturday before my peak week was probably when I was at my most fucked.
It was hard to see you like that.
Of energy, yeah. I'd taken pretty much everything else in my stride, but it really fucking hit us that week. So Jude obviously pulled us aside and went, obviously we're coming into peak week. However, you need to eat today. So he was like, you can go and have, I can't remember what he said, like 2 large Dominoes or a 5, or whatever it was he said. And I was like, mentally at that point, I was like, yeah, but I don't want that.
Yeah.
I've done whatever it is, 13 weeks of dieting. If I go and have a cheat meal now, I'm going to feel like a bit of a prick. So he went away and came back and just said, look, make your own air fryer chips, make your own handmade burger and have a bagel and all that kind of shit. So it doesn't feel like you're having a cheat meal. So that's what I did. If I was to choose something like favorite, like chill out snack or food or something, I don't know, a tub of ice cream and some cookies and pop chips are probably the go-to. Which is not really a meal. It's kind of, sitting watching a movie on a Saturday night and picking away at something. I do like a smoking soul, as you know, as well. Five Guys, is that right? You can take it or leave it, but I don't know. I don't know what my go-to would be. Just whatever I fancy at the time. And what's not going to make me feel like fucking absolute dog shit for the rest of the night. If they have like Domino's. Domino's feels good going in, but an hour later you're fucked.
The thing I hate with Domino's is it gives you that kind of like greasy feeling in your mouth after you have it, and I don't like it. And like I've said to you beforehand, I'll easily like see if I was to plow in a ton of like shit food and go way over like my amount of carbs a day. Like right now I'm on 800 grams of carbs a day. I could be on 1,000 grams of shit food, and I guarantee you I'll be nowhere near as full as what I would be on 800 grams of clean.
Oh, of course, no, of course. The volume that's just different.
Exactly.
It's different. So, what's your go-to?
I'm not a foodie. Like my go-to cheat meal is literally not having food. That is my go-to. Literally cheating on my diet, not having food. That's my main thing. Like that's where when I was like with like over Christmas and checking in with Cam, he's like, "You're the only one. Like you know, one of my only clients who like over Christmas you'll drop weight." I was like, "Yeah, because like I'm taking that time not to eat. I fucking eat." You know what? I'm happy enough just going to Nando's or a TGI's just slipped. They're really shit now. Probably a Nando's. It still feels like you're eating clean at the same time.
Do you like Aziz? Aziz is pretty good as well. get a
That's what we
takeaway.
had when we were around that hour night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was banging.
And then it's chicken and rice and whatever, but it somehow feels different. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but yeah.
If you don't make it, like I feel that's another thing. If somebody's diet,
yes,
lifestyle or prep or whatever, sometimes part of the issue is eating a meal that you've made. Part of the thing is you want a meal that you haven't made and it's hot.
made, correct.
See, for
Yeah, I agree with
example,
that.
right? So just the fact you can go to a shop and buy something and it can be the exact same fucking thing you've got in your Tupperware, but the fact you're buying it, you'll be more inclined to eat it than the way you would do that you made it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think that's spot on. Yeah, it's you just want a break almost from prepping food,
Exactly.
and that's yeah, having a cheat. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Bottom line, eat the fucking food.
Well,
Don't
how
get
many
food.
times have you said to me, get your fucking food in, you skinny cunt? So
Exactly. The best bodybuilders are the best eaters at the end of the day.
it makes me feel full just having to listen to that. Right. What clients do you prefer? Bodybuilding clients or lifestyle clients?
Lifestyle.
Why?
Well, bodybuilders are just about a bunch of arseholes, really. That, to be fair, this is actually a deeper question because what is bodybuilding? So I don't really see there's much of a difference between lifestyle and bodybuilding in terms of if you've got lifestyle client coming to you, and they're in the gym and they're training and they're eating, they're essentially bodybuilding. They're taking their body and they're building, either building it up or carving it down. The only difference is whether in fact, there's probably three stages to bodybuilding. Your lifestyle, like your normal client that would come to us to lose weight or gain muscle, but they enjoy their cheat meals and enjoy other aspects of life. Then you've got the in between where they're living a bodybuilding lifestyle where they eat the food, the clean food, the chicken, the rice, and all that kind of shit. Train like bodybuilders, but don't really want to get on stage. And then you've got your competitive bodybuilders, which are obviously, to the right or whatever. I don't want to say steps up because it's not right. Who want to get on stage and compete. So when you say lifestyle and bodybuilding, it's essentially, to me, it's kind of the same fucking thing. You're building a body one way or another.
100%. I think the only thing that changes is for bodybuilders, you've got the intent to compete. That is the only thing for me.
Yeah.
I feel a lifestyle client I would treat a lifestyle client no differently how I would a bodybuilding client, apart from the fact that at some point you are going to have to actually say to somebody, listen, you don't do this, it's on you, you fuck up. Don't get me wrong, I'll still say to a lifestyle client, if you're not pulling your weight, that's why you're not seeing results, because you're going out, you're on the piss every weekend.
Yeah.
Client in prep isn't going to be going out on the piss every weekend, but they are going to maybe be like, I never got my cardio in, I never did this. It's like, right, so you never get cardio in, you've got a pure gym literally 10 minutes away from you, you've still got time to get your cardio in before you go to bed or whatever.
Yeah, correct.
Lifestyle client, you're not going to say that.
No, I agree. Yeah, there's maybe a little bit more stake for a competitive bodybuilder in terms of you don't want to be standing on stage and looking like a sack of shit. And ultimately, you've got the coach, you're paying for it, you've got the plans, you've got the diet plans, the training plans. If you don't do it, that's on you. Do you know what I mean? But then it also reflects badly on the coach when they're on stage and they play fucking last or whatever, and it's fucking spuzzies. But yeah, but for lifestyle, I don't know. Like the ones I've got, like Tim's a pretty good example. He's done really well. I'm pretty strict on him. Like, do you know what I mean? It's at this point there comes a point where you have to be like, and in Tim, in his fairness, he's not bad. He kind of, do you know what I mean? Like he's always done kind of what I've asked and what I've said. But if he does stray, it's like, look, you need to get back on track. Otherwise, you're going to miss your goal. So go and do this and do that and do it now type thing. But then every client's different. Not everyone's going to respond. And I put this post up the other day about, carrot or stick. Some people respond better to, harsh criticism because it drives them forward. Other people want to be praised. and it's just, I suppose, about reading each client differently. But yeah, I don't know. I think lifestyle is more rewarding. I don't know if it is more rewarding. I mean, I'm not into prepping bodybuilders, so I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the feeling is when you getting a client at stage. I don't know. I couldn't say. Um, but the reward is getting messages from your client saying, they feel fucking ace and they do this and they're out. Tim was away on holiday and all that, and just fucking loving life. Sending pictures out with fucking boat topless and all this kind of shit because he's got 6-pack and fucking chest and shit now. You know what I mean? So, that's really rewarding. Seeing that sort of results.
I think that's where I can definitely agree with that, because especially for lifestyle, there's that much. I wouldn't even call it information. There's that much shit out there. Everything gets lost in text. So it is literally as simple as being in a deficit, moving more. That is it, right? If you're not losing weight, you're either not getting enough expenditure or the food needs to come down. That's literally it.
Correct.
But people don't also realize you eat too little food, your body will fucking fight you. And that'll be why you're not dropping weight as well. Like, so try and get people, like, the first thing you do, and you've had this probably tons of times too, you give somebody a plan and the first thing you get back is, that's a lot of food.
Yeah.
And like, that, trust me, that is not a lot of food. That is the food that you need to drop weight with maybe a 2, 3, 400 calorie deficit, and that is it.
Yeah.
Right? When you wouldn't see a lot of food is when we put you in the gaining phase, and it gets to the point where that's coming to like 2.5 times the amount of food that we were putting into you. That's a lot of fucking food. So, but people just don't realize the density of calories. Like the fact that like you could have chicken and rice as a meal, and it's X amount of calories, and then they'll have like literally a packet of crisps, and it's probably maybe 2 bags of crisps be the same amount of calories as this chicken and rice meal, but because of the density of the crisps, they don't realize the size of food's gonna make you full.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So me personally, I would, how do I word this? I love lifestyle clients. I think it's great because it's not just like you that sees a change; they see a change in themselves. Their family see a change in themselves.
See a change. Yeah.
Quite often you'll hear from them is, "Oh, like I've got more energy, I can do this with my kids," or me and the husband went out and I bought a dress that I wouldn't normally wear. That's like the stuff that I love hearing because they're going into the comfort zone. But when you've got a bodybuilding client, like for example, I've got Dylan on the team now, and we're looking to go for the Granite City in 2024. We're a year away, but I'll still be with him. Like, mate, like we're a year away in off season. We need to get the food up, and we need to do this. Like, training has to be.
That year's going to pass quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to come really quick, and by the time you've got, it's not even like a full year, because if Granite do what they're doing this year is what, March their show is.
End of March, last week of March, I think.
Right. So by the time I get him in this game phase and pull him back for 2 months to get everything settled, you're only getting 10 months.
What's he doing? What's he doing? Men's physique?
He's thinking physique.
You've got to remember as well, Granite City has a high caliber of men's physique. It's a big class. Or the last 2 years have been.
Yeah.
So that year to get everything ticked off is not a long time. Like, that, obviously he's going to need to understand that as well. He's going to need to.
He's got his head screwed on with it. Like he's definitely got the foundations there. And when I've trained with him, and like how I train is a little bit different how he trained, and like he said he's humbled by it. It's just like slowing shit down. That's it. Like apart from that, he's got everything there. He's like, and he sends his form check videos, and he's bang on. Like he is bang on the fucking money every time. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think that'll be fucking ace. I think.
Oh, definitely. It's a good string to your boat to have as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a good one to see. I'm looking forward to seeing that one progress over time.
Yeah. Right. I've got a clue on that. Right, here's a one then. This is one you must have got. Is your main focus on bodybuilding, and therefore will you be neglecting lifestyle clients or any other possible clients?
No.
I think we basically just covered that. Like, it doesn't matter whether lifestyle and bodybuilding, you're still doing the same goal, and lifestyle is perfectly still bodybuilding, just you haven't got an intent to compete.
Correct. Yeah. No. Absolutely not. Just because, I'm wanting to do more shows, that's not going to impact on the type of clients I'm taking on. That's my personal goals, not the goals of clients. So no.
That actually leads me to the next question. Have you any ambitions to compete in the future?
I will come back. I already know what shows I'm doing.
Are you discussing it, or are we keeping that one under wraps? Have they changed since we
Um,
last spoke about that one?
I think we have. We must have done. I'm sure I have. I've said I'm going to do 5 or 6 shows.
You were
Not
thinking about
back
two
to back.
bros.
Thinking about 2 bros. I'm going to do a few. I just want to keep a stage time. So I'm going to do some. I don't want to say smaller federations, but obviously 2 bros probably is the biggest federation in the UK. It has to be.
Would
Smaller
you do
shows at the
NABA
start.
again?
No, no. I mean, I love the NABA Scotland. I love the day, as in I love getting up there and doing it. And I do know, obviously, they'd had a long period, a break between the last Scotland show and the one they did this year. And obviously been a change of rep and a change of organizer and shit, like kind of almost like 2 months or something before the show. So it's quite soon. But it wasn't the best organised day, I found anyway. Certainly for that. I mean, we're told, for example, because it's your first time as well, you're kind of already stressing out a little bit and not knowing really what to expect. So we're told we're going to be on stage at sort of 3 o'clock. So then Drew's obviously planned out the food and all the rest of it. And then we got told, I know it's going to be 2 o'clock. Like, okay, fine. And I think it like, I don't know, I can't remember, 1:15 or something like that. They were
Yeah,
like, right, guys,
you're like
yeah,
third or fourth one in, weren't you?
yeah, like line up, you guys are going out. And like, haven't really pumped up, still halfway through like a pile of food, So there was just a lack of communication, a lack of organisation, I found, which, fair enough, we just reacted to it, but like, we just got on with it. But at the same time, it could have been better, just a bit more communication, a bit more better. But like I say, it was the first one back, a new organizer, all that kind of shit. So it could have just been a bad day, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would go back and do that again.
But this man here, this shares this right here, got an invite to the fucking British. And one thing I think we should state is what you and me have like an idea that we share on is if you don't win your class, but you get an invite to the British, would you go?
No, I didn't. I scrumpled it up. Not like not in a hissy fit, not in a bad way, but my mentality was I didn't go and pick it back out the bin again later. Somewhere.
JK.
But no, my view on it was, or always has been, even before. I mean, I said to you guys before I got on stage, before I competed, unless I win, I don't deserve an invite to the British finals.
Yeah.
And therefore I wouldn't go. If you're not good enough to win the regional on the day, what makes you think you're good enough to go to go and win the British? And I get it, it's an experience, and some people would see it as like, I just want to compete again, and fair enough, each to their own. But for me, nah. If you can't win the regionals, you shouldn't get a chance to go to the British.
I agree with that. But devil's advocate, what if, say, for example, you came second, you get invited to the British, you go to the British and you win because it's a different judge panel that's there, different judges looking for different criteria.
Well, there's the problem, isn't it?
But it's a very subjective sport.
It is a very subjective sport. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I suppose it depends on if you can see the scorecards and the points and how much was in it. If the first place is fucking 12 points ahead of you, or 12 points ahead of everyone, then if there's 1 point in it and it's maybe one judge is liked your fucking arms better than the other judge, and that's maybe what's won it, then yeah, I suppose, you've got 6 weeks to improve and you can bring that point back. But if you're miles off,
yeah. I was contemplating doing NABA because also we went down, it was me, Justine, I, Jamie, Dave, and then Katie sitting there.
Brandon, yeah.
Oh yeah, Brandon, fuck yeah, Houston on my left.
Yeah.
Forget about him. And then I was like, oh, that's such pretty well run. I scouted out some people who were going there beforehand, so I knew what to expect, who's going to be on stage.
Yeah.
And I generally think, I actually remember saying to Justine, the second class in, I'm not doing NABA. First person came in and it was like, oh fuck, was it like the fitness thing? But it was like the masters or something like that. What it was like, there's a running theme that happened in that show. One guy came in, bang on the fucking money, and the other guy looked like he literally walked off the street going, "What the fuck is this?" Second class, exactly same, bang on the money, what the fuck? Third class, bang on the money, what the fuck? Then it came to your class, and everybody, I think, bar one, there's like some guy who had like long hair. He looked like, but it's first timers, like, you know. And then after that, classes seemed to be a little bit better. I think when it got to the heavies, like one guy was just a mass fucking monster, but there's no detail to him whatsoever. And the fact that the announcer got the guy's name wrong and asked him to say it in front of everybody was
yeah. I think that was the guy that won the short class at the Granite City. He done the PC as well. Yeah, he did the PC as well. I can't remember his name, but quite offensive. I think because the guy couldn't pronounce his name and was like, "Well, you say it because I can't pronounce it," or something like that. Just little things like that shouldn't be happening on the day. Have some respect for the competitors, learn what they're called, get their gyms right. It's not hard. They've dieted, they've trained, they've paid their money to come and compete in your federation. Give them some respect. You know what I mean? Like, know what's happening around you. But like I said, it was the first time back after some time, and new organization, new staff and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I've got no desire to go back to NABA after that, which is a shame because NABA's obviously got the most prestigious history and out of probably all of them, in terms of the Mr. Universe and all the rest of it, which is what kind of drew me into it in the first place. But yeah, no plans on doing that again.
Did I just tell you now that I'm just kind be arse doing next year? Since if I can't, because you'll kick the shit out of me. So Justy will kick my cunt if I don't compete next year.
You have to.
So I'll be looking at shows for next year, and I'm probably just gonna go for the PCA first timers. There's like a Scotland show. I'll probably just go for that. Get over and done with.
I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong with PCA, to be honest.
I've seen a lot of their stuff, and the fact that like from who's the guy evolution coaching? Is it Mark?
I think I know the guy you're on about, the compare.
Pardon?
The guy that introduces everyone. Yes, yeah.
Like I follow him in everything he does, and like everything just looks so smooth. It looks so slick. It looks ace.
I went down.
Huh?
Yeah, sorry, carry on. No, carry on.
Even like the backdrops and stuff like that, I think it looks good. Even seeing like people's stage photos and the lighting compared to like how other ones are done, it looks a lot brighter, but it just looks a lot more like sleek. So I think I'll just go for that. I'm not using it as an excuse to literally do a show. Me personally, it might sound really selfish. I'm using it as an excuse to get myself lean as fuck so I can get more content and take photos so I can promote myself.
Yeah, fair.
That's how I see it, but it's just more because I'm right now I'm just more business orientated. Like I personally see it, if you're an online coach, you're out of shape, you've got no right to have your fucking top off in front of people. But if you're ripped as fuck and you've got vascularity, fucking tart that about all over the place, get your tits out and then get out.
Yeah. Well, you're your own business card. I suppose the flip side is obviously now I'm in off season. I'm not as peeled, not as peeled as I was back then. But yeah, your own business card. But then at the end of the day, I mean, folk aren't stupid. They know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are, there's a difference between being off season and being fat as fucking out of shape, trying to punt your wares.
That brings us to the next question. Off season or dieting? What do you prefer?
Diet is probably more rewarding in terms of, as you progress through it, you see more detail, and that makes you feel. Do you know what I mean? Like feel better. Off season is obviously where the real graft happens because it is harder. I think it's harder.
Yeah.
In terms of, yourself, like it's not in the past when I've done it, like when I was initially getting ready to compete the first time before COVID, or before during the first part of COVID and then the second one, so 2020 and 2021. when I decided to put on as much size as possible, eating like fuck, and yeah, probably carried too much body fat going into it. Then obviously 2021 got canned anyway, or I decided not to do the show I was going to do, which was Granite City. I was advised not to do it, so I didn't do it. So I gave me a little bit longer, so I tidied up again. Do you know what I mean? Like, had a diet period, tidied up, so probably came in 8 pounds lighter between the two off seasons, if that makes sense. But in better condition, better shape, and it puts in a better state for that. This time now with the long off season, it's going to be a struggle because it's not just a case of food's in front of you, eat it. We can all eat food like you were saying earlier about junk food and shit like that. The calorie difference. Calories aren't just calories, you know. So eating a fuck ton of clean food for 2 years essentially is hard graft, and it's only going to go up. I mean, the food's all you know. You're going to get a lot of things for 4 or 5 weeks here and there, but the volume of food's always going to go and go and go, unless I don't know. I mean, I need to play it by ear. It depends what class I'm going to do when I come back onto the stage. You know, because if you go into classic, you've got your weight caps, so there's not much point in walking about it fucking 250, 260 pounds. But my height, when I've got to be 183 pounds on stage maximum, you know, what's the point in that? Because well sitting at 210, 215 pounds in good condition and then get ready for it. So it just depends. So I'm just going to play it by ear and just keep eating and training and see, you know, what I look like at each weight increment, really, and take it from there. But yeah, I think all seasons more fun in terms of you're getting stronger and bigger. You know, I prefer the bigger look anyway.
It's a mental boost.
Yeah. But dieting is probably more rewarding in the opposite way. Like, I don't know. There's pros and cons to both of them. Pros and cons to both of them. Dieting, I prep as a piece of piss. I think really right up until 4 weeks out. Probably so the first sort of 10 weeks were fairly straightforward. In terms of food and diet, I mean, and then obviously the last 4 weeks were a bit grim.
Yeah.
I think the fucking last week was a fucking nightmare. Or second last week was a nightmare.
I remember getting a text from you saying you fucking lost it in the kitchen because you farted pushing the washing machine.
That's not why I lost it. I didn't even realise I'd fucking like farted. I lost it because, right, so when I was in prep, obviously bought the house. I was waiting on getting it. And then I got the keys 3 weeks before the show. So moving house 3 weeks before the show. I should have waited. Like, probably should have waited until after the show. But
waiting for the house for how long? Like,
fucking like over a year.
Yeah, exactly. So you want it in.
Yeah, wanted it in. So I had that. Obviously, mum was unwell and shit during that prep and stuff. So I said a lot going on around about it. But yeah, I mean, handled it well. Took the straight, you know what I mean? Like I said, that last 3 weeks, and then when the fucking washing machine flooded the fucking brand new kitchen, that was like the tipping point, I think. But so that was it. I was like, I'm fucking done with this. Like, I can't handle this. Had a fucking flip out. Went and sat in the car. I was like, I'm going to fucking McDonald's. And then I just sat in the car for half an hour and didn't go anywhere.
Had the saddest alarm of your entire life.
Oh, fuck, honestly, I just sat there and I was like, if I go to McDonald's now, it's over. Like, do I really want it to be over? And I was like, no. So, yeah, I just sat in the car half an hour. I think I went down to Stonehaven, picked something up from the post office, and then came home and I was just sort of, it was fine. That was it. I think that was the one major flip out. I think the second 2 weeks out, or was it peak week? I can't remember. I remember blacking out pretty much in the kitchen, but not not even blacking out, but I just had like a lost 10 minutes of my life somewhere. And when I kind of remember coming back round again, it was like empty, like, you know, pretty much. Fucking peanut butter and rice cakes fucking empty everywhere. And then a panicked phone call to Drew going, oh fuck, and him being like, nah, listen, it's fine. Like, honestly, he's like, at this stage now, it doesn't matter. Like, or not that it doesn't matter, but it's not going to impact you as much as you think.
Yeah.
Which it didn't. And then obviously you just sorted everything else out for the rest of that week. So it was fine. But yeah, that's so I fucking forgot what the question was.
Would you prefer bulking or dieting?
Oh yeah, okay.
Just one
Cool.
word. That's all we need to sum up, Neil. Like, we don't need your whole fucking life story. Just
Yeah, no. I can answer yours for you.
what?
Diet.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I feel better on no food. Like, see, if I go in training fasted, I'll have a better session than what I will a whole evening of getting all the food in, all the calories in. Yeah, I'm just always been like that. I like the idea of being lean. I like having vascularity on show. Like the whole time. Fuck, we're coming on to the question next anyway, so I might as well just fucking say it. So when I started with Cam, I was with a coach beforehand, and he had me on a bulking plan, and he had me on 400 grams of protein a day, and nothing was staying in, nothing.
He's fucking surprised,
right? Because I joined with him, paid him monthly, and then it's like a week in, lockdown happened. And it was like, fuck it, right? It's going to be fine because lockdown's only going to be for what, 3 weeks as initial lockdown period.
Yeah.
Had the saddest gym workout that evening when it all got announced. I remember like fucking speaking to you and Ryan that evening. Me and Justine were fucking crying with everybody. And I said to my coach at the time, I was like, this is shit. I'm on 4,000 calories. I'm training with bands. People would think that would be me fucking wanking at that time, but no. I kept the food going, and it was just like his oh man, like his feedback was just fucking shit. Like I'd poured my heart and soul into my check-in, and all the back is,
I think we're not mentioning names of who it was.
No, we're not mentioning names, but he was not an Aberdonian. I am just saying that.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a cortisol moment on both of our parts. And yeah, I was like, I'm not being on 4,000 calories fucking training a band. It's a dog shit. So we bought that multi-gym from the guy in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is a steal because I looked into this thing. The thing was made in like the early 2000s, and it was like $4.5 brand new, but we got it for 500 quid. And it was the smoothest bit of a kit I've ever used. Like the way the cam was on the leg extension, it basically dropped off at the right point. It was ace. Signed back up with him, and it was the worst 3 months I had because his feedback was atrocious. I paid 3 months up front as well. I was like, I'm fucking dedicated. I want this. Yeah. So I was following Cam at the time through like AJ Morris. And I was like, who's that big fucking cunt in the background? He looks fucking huge. Started following Cam, sent him a message saying, I just wanted to take on clients. I'm currently with a coach right now. End of this month, I'm looking to make a move.
Yeah.
And we got a set up. So it was the very first day lockdown was lifted. So at that time, also warehouse being bought over. It started renovation and they opened at midnight. So I went in, I started my plan, bang on fucking midnight that day. And then also went through the whole dieting stage all the way through, get myself lean to go into the gaining phase. And then at that time I was working at Pure Gym because that's when lockdown lifted. That's when I started at Pure.
Yes, yeah, of course.
And it was ace because at that time I was natural.
Pure Gym
Right. Working at Pure Gym, right? Don't get me wrong. Working at a commercial gym is shit. If anybody's out there and they work at a commercial gym, if you enjoy your job, you are fucking weird, right? Because for what the hours you have to put in and how they pay their rent is dog shit. But it gives you a very, very unique skill. You can train anybody in any gym. If you can train anybody in a busy fucking gym, you can take them to a place where it's got half the size, half the equipment, and you can make adaptations for them.
Yeah, of course.
I've seen PTs before in a certain gym, and they're like a deer in the fucking headlights. Like, what do I do? Meanwhile, the clients there, they're thumb up their arse going, I thought you knew what we were meant to be fucking doing. Right?
Well, that's fair. Well, that's definitely fair.
So basically, I got very lean, and I wouldn't say fucking very lean, but I was at that point, I was contemplating jumping into a show just to fucking get over and done with. That's like where I was. Then the conversation I had with my coach at the time was like, listen, I want to compete. The shows I want to do are also federations which are untested. The conversation came about, and I remember like, what did I disclose? What did I not disclose? Put it this way, I remember being 2 weeks on cycle, 2 weeks on. So basically, testing Anthe. I was 250 test in 2 weeks.
Oh, you weren't.
Pardon?
Oh, you weren't. You were meant to be on 250 tests, but you weren't.
Right. So I'll tell the story and we'll go how you fucked me up, right? So
I did you good. I did you a favour.
Yeah, so 250 tests in Anthe, meant to be. And 2 weeks in, my body also, as things do, your composition changes. And I was getting vascularity across my abs. I've never had that in my entire fucking life. And it was fucking sick. Like, I was literally, any chance I got, I was putting the bins out with a top on. I was like, fucking look at this. But it wasn't 250 testing it wasn't, Neil.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. How much of this are we disclosing? Bear in mind, it's still recording.
As much as you want.
Right.
Open book here.
Right. Sorry, Brody's calling me through Justin's phone. So basically what happened was I was very inexperienced when it came to this, but Neil had been on cycle for a certain length of time. So I asked Neil, can I come with you and can you help me with my very first pin? Does it sound accurate so far, Neil?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, cool. So I went, I got everything I needed. I got my extra supplement. I got my tools I needed to inject such supplements. And we went to an undisclosed location. Fair? Fair. So Neil at the time, the product he was using was dosed at 300 megs per mil. Mine was dosed at 250. So he's thinking, fuck it, if you... Yeah. So he's thinking right now, fuck it, if I bang in half, this will be right? Calculations going on in his head, almost like the scene from The Hangover when you see Alan at the fucking gambling table. All these equations are going on right now. My first part of my cycle was not 250. It wasn't. It was fucking 125. Couldn't have me on fucking TRT for 8 weeks.
Oh, it's embarrassing. I work with numbers all day as well.
But the best thing about it was I was growing like fuck. Like I was growing.
Yeah.
And I remember the conversation we had in the gym because it wasn't just you. We asked 3 different fucking people who were also on, and we also asked another person who wasn't at the gym at that time. And they're like, no, you should be banging in fucking 0.5. And I was like, Neil's had me on 0.3 for 8 weeks. So I told Cam, and Cam's like, get him to fuck bang at the 0.5. That's it from now on. He goes, from now on, I want you to do your own pins. So because
I don't know, an embarrassing moment, but yeah, it didn't do any harm.
I remember the very first one, you're that slow and delicate, I was going to say putting it into my ass. No, putting it into my glute, because obviously slow and delicate into my ass is totally different. That's our French for a different level. That's only on Fridays. Yeah, like literally you took that fucking long. I could hear my ears ringing, my head was spinning. I was ready to faint because I was petrified of needles. Fuck knows why I've been tattooed in that. But now it's just a case of a day. You just whack it in, is it? And you just fucking get over and done with.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm so fucking sick of pinning. Like,
I had the fear.
Doesn't excite me.
Last night. I had the proper fear last night because obviously I
just put mine off.
Yeah, not best on Thursday. I'm still fucking in agony. And then I was just had the fucking fear of doing it again yesterday. But yeah, it does become quite tedious. Like it's
Did
just
you go glute again.
Other side.
Yeah. How was it?
Fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. But that one I did okay. I don't know what the fuck. I probably jabbed the needle and then went for a fucking walk around the kitchen, but it's still half pounding in my arse, and it's obviously doesn't fucking done.
Nicki Minaj would be fucking jealous. All I'm just saying.
It's come down a fair bit. It's nothing to worry about. It's just one of those things. But yeah, no, it is tedious. Very tedious. Fucking thing to do now.
Yeah, but it's like I was looking forward to it when we were first on. It's like, oh, this is ace, and also you wait for that kind of saturation period, like the 5 weeks or whatever. You're like, right, this is ace, blah blah blah. And then I think the bit it got tedious for me is there's a point where I was pinning 4 times a week. Now we're also down to 3, and it's just like I look more forward to you coming around than I do the pin. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just that social thing.
That leads on to our next question. How did your partners react to you being on?
I think I've always been open about it anyway. So I don't know, like I've never had any issue with it. Like, or they've never had any issue with it. But that said, I don't think it's ever affected really ever affected the personality or anything like that. You know, it's not like it's. I think there's this misconception that if you're going to take gear, you're going to turn into this fucking raving psychopath, lunatic, axe murderer shit.
Is that very accurate, Neil? You really want to make that statement?
I've had my moments, but that's not. That's not destined here. Like, I'm just not a cunt anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I have a cunty moment, it's maybe just comes on a little bit quicker. But yeah, it doesn't change. I don't think it changes your personality. In my experience, it doesn't. So the person you are, on or off. Do you know what I mean? If I don't know how to word it, but I've never been a situation with a partner where they've been like, or she's been, you need to stop this because you're changing or whatever it is. I've never had that. So I think, but then I think the key point here is being open and honest from the start. If you're going to use whatever, my advice to anyone would be, if you're in a relationship, tell them. You know what I mean? Tell them that you're going to go on, or tell them that you're on if you're already on, you're meeting somebody or whatever. Don't try and hide it. Is my advice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual. But my advice would be, don't hide it. Just tell them, and they'll either accept it or they won't. But then again, it's probably a bit different for us. Obviously, with me competing, you plan on competing. It's just part of the process. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to, I mean, I know there's obviously natty fez out there, but
peasants,
natty peasants out there. Not all of them. I mean, obviously, you know, you've got people like Steve.
They usually come in conditioned for those shows. Mm-hmm. It's like this, worrying how good they are.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you want to compete in certain federations, you're just going to have to suck it up. It's just almost becomes part of the process. It's part of your prep. It's part of your diet and nutrition. So, yeah. But if your lifestyle, do you really need to be on anyway?
I think the thing that made my decision a lot easier was I said to Justine when I very first met her, fucking 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before, like, we're seeing each other, and before I even said, listen, will you also be my girlfriend? However the fuck I asked her at the time.
You better not fucking say that.
Pardon?
You better not have said that.
The way I actually asked her was, will you be my Julie? Because we were watching Ali G in the house at the time. Kunsel. And I said to her, listen, you know, before I even ask this, whatever, I'm planning on going on steroids at some point. Are you okay with that? If you're not, then, you know, it was nice knowing you. Like, that's, and, or if you're okay with it, you know, happy days. And she went, why the fuck would I care? Fucking sound, right, cool. And it never happened until like fucking, 8 years after. And the decision was just purely because I was competing. That was the thing that made the decision. It wasn't the case I want to be fucking bigger. It wasn't the case of like, you know, oh my God, there's people in the gym that are bigger than me, or I feel like it's like I'm not stepping on the stage in an untested federation being this. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of genetic freaks out there who are natural and they go into an untested show, right? Yeah. There's people who's also done that. We know people who have done that personally.
Yeah. But very freaks. So.
Yeah, exactly, right.
They're probably better natural than we are fucking on gear.
100%. I would totally agree, because I feel when people have been on for a long time, there's that kind of drugged look to their body compared to like a fresh look. Even the way your skin is and stuff like that. But what I have found with Justin, she doesn't care. Like, I've told her, she knows everything. She knows what brand I'm taking. She knows what everything is. Like, you know, I mean, you see her fucking 3 times a week. You know everything about it.
Yeah.
She has, to be fair, I would agree with her. I am a little bit more irritable. Like, I would say I used to be a very laid back person, but I don't know whether it's the fact I'm just getting older or the fact that I'm a little bit more stressed out with the businesses or whatever. But
I think that comes down to it. I was when I was on prep, I was listening to, I still do, but you know, certainly prep, I remember listening to podcasts, and one of them was with Milos. And he was explaining this. They asked him about roid rage. Yeah. And he said it's just bullshit, it's just a myth. Obviously, you can't take one person's opinion or the rest of it as gospel, but I think his standard in the industry is probably reasonably sound.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, to stand by? Well-respected guy, been in it a long time. And he said the reaction of that comes from if you're dieting, for example, your blood sugar level being low. That's what causes the hang and the trigger switches and all the rest of it. It's not necessarily the gear. So roid rage itself isn't really a thing. And I think that's probably true. Like if you think about off-season cycles, nothing really phases me, apart from yesterday with fucking spilling maltodextrin all over the kitchen because don't fucking shake us.
And he give you that shaker, by the way. I've got a shaker funnel you can use.
Perfect. So apart from that, that's probably the only time, and then obviously a couple of times during prep. But then some fucking 50 grams of carbs or some shit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a self-awareness thing as well. So I've never had any issues with Trent. I've used it 3 times. 2 times, I've never had any issues.
Was it issue?
First time I used it was a
blend.
Tri-Trend, so it was a blend. So it was X and ENAs. Second time I used it was started on E and then moved into A. So obviously as the prep went on, 0 issues. And then I had some ACE left over from contest prep, which I started using in off season a couple of months ago. And I got 2 weeks into it, and obviously I lost mum at this point as well, and that was still going on. And that was the only time I think I was like,
oh wait, I remember getting the message off you. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
So I think it's like if everything in life's okay, you're going to be okay on it. But if something's out of sync or something's on your mind that's maybe a negative, or I don't say a negative thought, but there's maybe a part of your life that's down, which obviously at that time it was, or it is still, it kind of amplified that. And at that point, I was like, I got 2 weeks in, and I was like,
yeah,
no. So it's that self-awareness of like, hang on, this is going to negatively impact me mentally. And if you can recognize that, I think that's probably 75% of the battle.
I think as well, the good thing about you regulate your system really fucking quick as well. So it's a case of also that 2 days to ride it out, and then it's like starting to and,
Yes, yeah. But yeah, back to the question, how did they react to being on? Fine.
Justine has noticed, like, I've noticed it too. But before I was on, my libido was like really high anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then being on is like stupidly high. Mm-hmm. And what I feel, and I was saying this to Ellis the other day, the only side effects I've ever had was a tiny, like, minuscule little bit of spotting across my shoulders, which you've seen, right? Tiny. And when I come off MPP, I get a slight little rash for a day, and that is it. Mm-hmm. So that's also down, and I've never had to use an AI or anything like that. So also cycle design's fine.
Yeah.
The side effect I can't deal with is the really stupidly high sex drive. That is one thing that actually make me easy contemplate coming off, because it's infuriating. Because it feels like you're never fucking satisfied. It got to the point where I was becoming unproductive because I deleted my personal Instagram. Because the way it's made me think, you think, fuck, if I'm following this big titty goth bird, right? And you're like, right, fucking wish Justine would be fucking wearing that or dressed like that or whatever. And then I'd been out in shops with Justine. I'm like, fucking, what about this? She's like, no. I'm like, aye, right, sound cool. Right? So the best thing I ever did was delete my personal Instagram, because when it comes to my business Instagram, it's purely just like people who follow me, I follow them back, and as in I cut that whole shit out. But it was really affecting me. And the best thing I did is that, don't get me wrong, like the horniness is still fucking there and it's shit. But it's part and parcel of taking testosterone at the end of the day.
At least you're going to have big forearms. Lacking body pattern most.
Well, that's the thing. I've had to alternate because I noticed one side's getting really fucking imbalanced. See my lat, you'd be surprised the amount of kind of lat activation you get when you're given a bit of a...
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, who doesn't want a small back?
Right. We'll do one more, and then we'll keep the rest of the questions for the next time because there's tons.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one about the current bodybuilding scene, but do you think we should leave that for an else is on?
If you want, yeah.
Okay.
Put him on a leash.
Right. Body dysmorphia.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it leads to ped use and training without intent?
So body dysmorphia, definitely a real thing. And I think it's made worse again by social media.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in case we can't tell by now, I fucking hate social media, really. Again, it's a good tool, but it's also a very fucked up platforms to be using, because about the standard they set on social media, Instagram, etc., is all these fucking fitness influencers and arseholes and fucking cunts like going about and they look fucking peeled or jacked all the fucking time. And you've got, I don't know, some young guy that's just started at the gym and he's watching all this shit and that's what he thinks. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of misconstrued, and then you start, well, I need to look like that, and he's got this lifestyle or she's got this lifestyle, so I need, and if I look like this, I'm going to get that lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? So then people start questioning themselves. So it is a real thing. It's a dangerous thing because what these fucking tricks on Instagram and all the rest aren't telling you is, one, their gear use. You can guarantee probably 80-90% of them are fucking using to hide it. And then if they're not hiding it, or people, it makes the PED use look more appealing because it's going to get that results, and they're going to look like this, and their life is going to improve and get better.
Sorry to cut you off on that, because I want to bring up that topic, because you're saying also because people hide it, right? Now, when we were growing up, it was very fucking secret squirrel, hush hush, right? Very fucking secret. But because things now are a little bit more open, you've got podcasts like RBG podcasters talk about quite a lot. You've also got what's the one that you me fucking sent back every day with Dave in Scott McNally? Drugs and stuff.
Drugs and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And that is good. What fucking fright did we get on Friday night when we finished training?
Yeah.
Right? So this brings into the whole younger generation too. Steroids with us at the time when we were younger was like, you do not talk about it. These things are just, it's not a thing. But the younger generation now, they're surrounded by it constantly, to the point where we're talking to somebody on reception and then there's a younger kid there and we're just talking about general things. And out of nowhere, this kid goes, I'm just going to go to the doctor and played the delayed I can't even say it without the delayed puberty role so I can jump on TRT. And this kid's like 14 or 15. And the fact that a 14 or 15-year-old is even joking about going to the doctor, played delayed puberty to jump on TRT, is like, that's the new norm now. Which I do feel social media has made pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you go through fucking reels and memes and shit, and it's always like, I don't know, a meme will pop in a bottle of tread will fucking flash up or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, information should be available.
Yeah.
Like, it should be out there, it should be spoken about. But it shouldn't be sort of glamorized in that way.
Yeah.
I don't 100%. think. Making jokes and shit about training and stuff like that. Like, I like a laugh and I like a good meme and all the rest of it as well. And Jack 3D, for example, are fucking brilliant. But we're older and we can kind of
tell the joke.
See what it is. Yeah, see that it's a bit of a joke and a bit of a laugh. But youngsters are maybe, see that meme and they've never heard of trend before, and then they go and Google it and then they see the results and all the rest of it. And they think, oh, could be a good idea. And it's like,
yeah,
no, it's really not. So on that, I mean, I wouldn't, any client, say under 25, 26 that came to me, unless there was, I don't know, maybe early 20s, 22, 23, and a plan of competing, came to me and said, I want to get on gear, I'd tell them to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because you're still growing, your brain's still developing. Do you really want to be putting in combat, especially things like nandrolones where you're, you know,
Affecting your brain chemistry.
cognitive function is going to be, exactly. It's going to be impaired.
Like
Do you
the
want to
studies
be
showing also the
exercise?
memory loss because of nandrolone, you know?
Yeah.
And especially, for example, if folk in contest prep, I'm not saying tren has to be used. I wouldn't say it always has to be used. But if people do use it, it's one of those things where you can use it once or twice, and the third time you fucking use it, it will not agree with you. You will, like, you know what I mean? It's very selective when it gets done. And it's also like when it comes to the test, like the ratio, like of harshness, like testosterone, when that's measured, and it's on a scale of, like, say, whatever the fucking scale is off the top of my head, like trend is like, yeah, trends like
100, trends 500, 500.
it's stupid, like,
yeah,
but it's the worst thing to put in your body. Like, there's like
absolutely.
no, like, your body's designed to take testosterone, end of. But if you're taking a UGL, it's not really advised.
No.
But you're also want to be in a physiological range. You're not meant to be in a super physiological range. Your body's designed to be between fucking 9 and 29 animals, not fucking. When I got my bloods done, I was 297. Right, so 10 times my testosterone a natural person would have in their body. So your body's designed for test within certain reason, but it's not designed for fucking EQ trend. Trends aren't being approved for human usage. Either is fucking EQ. Like, you know what I mean? You've got people putting nandrolones in, you've then people go banging in mast or primo because of their, you know, anti-estrogen effects, stuff like that. You need to realize you're putting stuff into your body which is a foreign substance.
Correct.
And the majority of the time, as much as we joke about it, being made in Bathtub Bill's bathtub,
yes,
right? You don't know what stuff you're putting in unless you go get your blood done. But then once again, if you're then taking fucking tren, your fucking estrogen,
E2's gonna be all over.
Yeah, will be fucking out of whack. So fair enough.
You can measure lactin and stuff like that, but yeah, no, it's it's just it's stupid. I think
Don't do drugs, kids. That's what we're saying.
No, well, I think there is, but there does seem to be this rush, and like it is down to body dysmorphia to get on steroids. Now I was, well, 35 now, so 31, 32 when I started. For an idea. So if I managed to train from, okay, I was in my 20s, like I say, early 20s when I started, but to do 14 years of not taking any gear. And don't get me wrong, I was aware of it, you know, and I probably started thinking around about 30, questioning whether or not I want to go on or not, or compete naturally or whatever. And I kind of, at that 31, 32, I was like, well, it's now or never type thing. Let's go for it. But at that age, I'm old enough and wise enough to make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, to me, that informed decision and do the research. At 16, 17, 18, even 19, 20.
They're not thinking about shutting down their natural levels. They're not thinking about having a family in the fucking future. Like, when I jumped on, we had already conceived Brody, right?
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine. My worry is now, if we, like, you know, we're thinking about a second one possibly.
Yeah.
Like, how much shutdown has been caused? You don't know. Like, there's been studies showing 8 cycles in, you're almost at the point where you're not going to fully recover.
No, exactly.
Everybody's totally different. Some people might not recover after fucking 3 or 4 cycles. Some people can fucking go, there's some Italian boy who had done fucking 8 years full on, never coming off, and he still managed to recover, but there's no study showing whether he had still recovered, because you can get recovered at a certain point, but it can still diminish down afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
So that's people don't think about that. They don't think about their future. All they think is right now, I want to get fucking big, I want to be fucking massive, I want to go out, fucking pump birds in tune, and that's it. Like,
no, stupid.
There's no longevity there. And the other thing that fucks me off is folk don't realize how much health supplements cost, right? If you're on cycle, you should be taking support aids like health supplements. But you can guarantee you right now, your health supplements will be almost double the amount of price of what your cycle is. People don't realize that. And that's why they don't take them, because of the price.
Yeah. But you'd have shit into your body.
Exactly.
That's more important. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things to be considered there. But yeah, I mean, it does stem from body dysmorphia, which is a real thing. And it's only been magnified through social media. the training with intent part. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a split thing. Do people really train with intent now?
I feel people use drugs as a way they can slack on training and slack on food. They use it as a crutch.
Which is wrong. Completely wrong.
Pardon?
That's completely wrong. It's the wrong way of thinking. I get what you're saying, and I agree with you, but it's completely wrong.
The reason I was able to gain 50 pounds my first cycle and still stay relatively lean is I can't say this without glorifying, though. That's the thing. Like, for me, it flicked that switch to be fucking all in and give it everything.
Oh no, I totally agree. I was like, if I'm going to be putting shit into my body, then yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, so if I'm going to be putting this into my body, then I'm not going to be fucking about. It's all or nothing. So my food's got to be on, my training's got to be on. I'm not putting this in my body just to then sit at home and be like, I can't be arsed today or whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to reduce my life by 5 years for the sake of, or 5, 10 years or whatever, for the sake of, for what benefit you get. And then at the end of the day, they're super subs, they're supplements at the end. They're meant to supplement everything else.
Yeah.
And if that's not on point and you're taking it, and yes, you know, there is studies that will say if you take, you know, 10 males and put them on testosterone and sit on the fucking sofa, they might gain 0.1% of muscle mass or whatever it is, 1%, I can't remember exactly. But that's not enough to offset everything else. Doing so, if you're taking something or you decide you're going to get on, you need to train with intent. Yeah. And you need to eat with intent, and you need to have that goal and decide, okay, well, I want to gain X amount of weight so that I'm on stage at X amount of weight, and you know, have a certain look. Don't just take it because some muppet on fucking Instagram is glorifying steroid use. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's it. Right, sir. I think that is us, because we need to go and do the food shop. Yeah, we have no. We'll save a lot of questions for next time, because I think next time we're wanting either Dave or Ellis on, or maybe both together.
Yeah. So
we'll call that the Not in the Scene podcast. You are in charge of Ellis. I've told you this already. So me and Dave will just sit quietly in the background, and you could be like, Cortisol to Ellis.
Ellis will be fine. Ellis, he understands, but it's yeah, it'll be good. It's good to get other opinions on it as well.
There's another 2 platforms to get questions off them as well. So
yeah, exactly. Cool.
Right, sir. Right. Well, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much for episode 1.
No worries. And enjoy.
Enjoy too.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow.
Right,
woo, pin party! Right, catch you later.
Right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.